Ever heard the saying, silence is golden? Well, the Stoics would argue that sometimes it's anything but. While they valued peace and tranquility, they also recognized the importance of speaking up when it really matters. You know those moments when your gut tells you something's not right, but you just kind of shrug it off. The Stoics would say that's a missed opportunity to live a more virtuous life. In this series, we're going to dive into 5 situations where keeping quiet is actually a bad idea. We'll explore how Stoic philosophy can help us navigate these tricky situations and make choices that align with our values. Imagine you're at work and your boss makes a sexist remark. Or maybe you're in a group of friends and someone starts spreading a harmful rumor. These are the kinds of moments that can test our moral compass. The Stoics believed that we have a responsibility to speak up against injustice and to defend what we believe in. But it's not always easy. That's why we're going to break down these situations and explore how Stoic principles can help us find the courage to speak up. So, are you ready to challenge the status quo and become a more vocal advocate for what's right? Let's get started. Lesson 1. Witnessing injustice. Ever seen something wrong and just looked the other way? It's a common human reaction, but the Stoics would say it's a cop-out. They believed that we have a moral obligation to stand up for what's right, even when it's difficult. What is injustice, anyway? It's any action or system that treats people unfairly. It could be racism, sexism, discrimination based on sexual orientation, or even just being rude to someone. Why should we care about injustice? It's the right thing to do. The Stoics believed in living virtuously, and justice is a cornerstone of virtue. It affects us all. Injustice creates a ripple effect, harming not just the immediate victims, but society as a whole. We have the power to make a difference. Even small actions can have a big impact. But what if speaking up is dangerous? The Stoics understood that life is full of risks. They believed that it's better to live a life of virtue, even if it means facing challenges, than to live a life of cowardice. So, how do we stand up to injustice? Educate yourself. Learn about the different forms of injustice and their root causes. Speak up. Use your voice to challenge injustice, whether it's in a conversation with a friend or in a public forum. Support organizations working for social justice. Donate your time or money to causes you care about. Be an ally. Stand up for people who are being marginalized or oppressed. Let's take a real-world example. Imagine you're at a party and you hear someone making a racist joke. What do? You could ignore it, but that would be condoning the behavior. Instead, you could calmly and respectfully challenge the person's statement. You could say something like, "That's not okay." It's important to be respectful of all people, regardless of their race. Remember, you don't have to be perfect to make a difference. Even small acts of kindness and courage can have a ripple effect. The Stoics believed that we should all strive to be virtuous, and that means standing up for what's right, even when it's difficult. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, the chief task in life is simply this: to identify and distinguish between matters that are really our concern and those that are not. Injustice is something that should concern us all. Let's make a commitment to create a more just and equitable world. Lesson 2. When your boundaries are violated. Ever had someone cross a line? Maybe they overstepped in a conversation, disrespected your time, or made you feel uncomfortable. When our boundaries are violated, it can leave us feeling violated, angry, or even defeated. But how do we respond in a way that's both assertive and aligned with Stoic principles? The Stoics were all about understanding what's within our control and what isn't. Our boundaries are definitely within our control. They're the lines we draw to protect our physical, emotional, and mental well-being. When someone crosses those lines, it's not just about them being disrespectful, it's about us allowing them to disrespect ourselves. Why is it important to protect our boundaries? Self-respect. It shows that we value ourselves and our well-being. Healthy relationships. Clear boundaries help to build healthier and more respectful relationships. Reduced stress. When our boundaries are respected, we experience less stress and anxiety. But how do we actually set and enforce boundaries? Identify your boundaries. What makes you feel uncomfortable or disrespected? Communicate clearly. Use I statements to express your feelings without blaming the other person. For example, I feel disrespected when you interrupt me. Be assertive. Stand firm in your boundaries, even if it means saying no. Practice self-care. If someone repeatedly violates your boundaries, it might be time to limit or end the relationship. Remember, setting boundaries isn't about being selfish. It's about self-preservation. The Stoics believed in living virtuously, and part of that is taking care of yourself. Let's say a co-worker keeps asking you to stay late, even though you've already agreed to leave at a certain time. You could feel guilty or obligated to say yes, but remember, your time is valuable. You could respond with, I appreciate you asking, but I've already made plans for tonight. Perhaps we can discuss this further tomorrow. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus reminds us, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. When someone violates your boundaries, it's an opportunity to practice self-control and assert your values. By setting and enforcing healthy boundaries, we not only protect ourselves, but also create a more respectful and fulfilling life. Lesson 3. When false narratives are spread. Ever heard a rumor that just didn't sit right with you? Or maybe you've seen a news story that seemed a little too good or too bad to be true. In today's world, with social media and 24-hour news cycles, it's easier than ever for misinformation to spread like wildfire. But the Stoics, with their emphasis on reason and truth, would argue that it's our duty to challenge these false narratives. Why do false narratives spread? Sometimes it's simply because people want to believe what they want to believe. Other times, there might be more sinister reasons, like trying to manipulate public opinion or sow discord. Regardless of the motive, the end result is the same: confusion, division, and a distorted understanding of reality. As Stoics, we value truth above all else. But what does it mean to seek the truth in a world filled with misinformation? It means being skeptical, doing your own research, and being willing to challenge your own beliefs. How can we challenge false narratives? Question everything. Don't just accept information at face value. Ask yourself, where did this information come from? Is there any evidence to support it? Verify your sources. Make sure the information you're getting is coming from reputable sources. Don't spread misinformation. If you're unsure about the accuracy of something, don't share it. Engage in respectful dialogue. When you encounter someone who believes a false narrative, try to have a calm and respectful conversation with them. Support fact-checking organizations. There are many organizations dedicated to debunking false information. Let's take a common example, a conspiracy theory. Maybe you've heard one about a famous historical event. Instead of simply accepting or rejecting it, take the time to research it. Look at multiple sources, consider the evidence, and form your own opinion. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus reminds us, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. When confronted with a false narrative, we have a choice. We can either accept it passively or actively seek the truth. By challenging false narratives, we're not just protecting ourselves from being misled. we're also helping to create a more informed and rational society. Remember, the Stoics believed in the power of reason, and that includes the reason to question everything. Lesson 4. When you have valuable insights to share. Ever had a great idea that you just knew could help someone? Maybe you've solved a problem, learned a new skill, or gained a unique perspective on life. The Stoics believed that we have a moral obligation to share our knowledge with others. By doing so, we not only help others, but also deepen our own understanding of the world. Why should we share our insights? To make a difference. Our knowledge can help others overcome challenges and achieve their goals. To connect with others. Sharing our thoughts and experiences can help us build deeper relationships. To grow personally. Teaching others can help us solidify our own understanding of a topic. But what if our insights aren't perfect? The Stoics understood that no one is perfect. What matters is the intent behind our actions. If we're sharing our knowledge with the intention of helping others, then that's a noble goal. How can we share our insights effectively? Be clear and concise. Get to the point and avoid jargon. Be respectful. Even if you disagree with someone, try to do so in a respectful manner. Be open to feedback. Be willing to listen to other people's perspectives. Find the right audience. Share your insights with people who are interested in what you have to say. Let's say you've recently learned a new time management technique that has really helped you. You could share this knowledge with a friend who's always complaining about being overwhelmed. Or you could write a blog post or create a video to share your tips with a wider audience. The Stoic philosopher Seneca believed that we should live as if you were to die tomorrow and learn as if you were to live forever. By sharing our knowledge, we're not only living in the present moment, but also contributing to the future. Remember, everyone has something valuable to contribute. By sharing our insights, we're not just helping others, we're also living a more meaningful and fulfilling life. Lesson 5. When someone needs your support. Ever had a friend who was going through a tough time? Maybe they lost a loved one, got fired, or are just feeling overwhelmed. When someone we care about is struggling, it can be tempting to want to fix their problems or offer advice. But sometimes what they really need is simply to be heard and supported. The Stoics believed in the interconnectedness of all people. They understood that we are social creatures and that our happiness and well-being are tied to the happiness and well-being of those around us. When someone we care about is suffering, it's our duty to offer support. Why is it important to support others? To strengthen relationships. Offering support can deepen our connections with others. To make a difference, even small acts of kindness can have a big impact on someone's life. To practice compassion. Empathy and compassion are essential virtues. But how can we offer effective support? Be present. Give the person your full attention. Listen actively. Let them know you're hearing them by nodding, making eye contact, and offering verbal cues. Validate their feelings. Let them know that their feelings are valid. Offer specific help. If they need something, offer to help. Respect their boundaries. If they don't want to talk about it, don't push them. Let's say a friend has just gone through a breakup. You might be tempted to offer advice like, "There are plenty of fish in the sea." But sometimes people just need to vent and feel heard. You could say something like, "I'm so sorry to hear that. That must be really tough. I'm here for you if you need anything at all." The Stoic philosopher Seneca said, "We are more often helped by our friends than by physicians." This is because our friends can offer us emotional support, which can be just as important as physical healing. Remember, supporting others doesn't mean fixing their problems. It means being there for them, listening to them, and offering a shoulder to cry on. By doing so, we not only help them, but also enrich our own lives. So, the next time you see someone struggling, don't hesitate to reach out. A little bit of kindness can go a long way. So, there you have it. 5 situations where the Stoics would argue that silence is not golden. From witnessing injustice to defending your values, there are plenty of times when speaking up is not just an option, but a necessity. Remember, being a Stoic doesn't mean being a wallflower. It means living a life of purpose and integrity, and that often involves taking a stand. It's about finding the courage to speak truth to power, even when it's difficult. The Stoics understood that our words have the power to shape the world around us. By choosing to speak up, we can inspire others, challenge the status quo, and make a positive difference. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." While listening is essential, there are times when we need to use our voices to create change. Ultimately, the decision to speak up is a personal one, but by understanding the Stoic perspective, we can make more informed and intentional choices. So, the next time you find yourself in a situation where you're tempted to stay silent, remember these lessons. Your voice matters.